Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Alright, so the first Diamond League is done and dusted. The first one has come up, and yeah, we saw quite a few exciting performances at this Diamond League, plus a few performances that left me saying meh. So let's get into my thoughts of this Diamond League meeting. So first and foremost, big shout out to Armando Duplantis shattering his own world record from 6.23 meters to 6.24 meters. First meeting of the season, first major meeting of the season, and one in the books for a world record for Armando Duplantis. If you thought he was falling off, well, think again. This man is going to be here for years to come in the pole vault, dominating and taking it up, the world record up 1 centimeter at a time. So right now he's at 6.24 meters for a new world record. Congratulations to him, and I love to see this in the sport again. The sport just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and the pole vault is one of those events here that we saw once in a generation, or we are seeing a once in a generation athlete really take the sport to new heights. So yeah, great performance right off the bat when it comes to the Wanda Diamond League, and this was in Xiamen, China, right? So now we're going to head into some more performances. I want to tell you, what happened from a Jamaican perspective. So we had Danielle Thomas-Dodd come up in the women's shot put, and she placed 8th, throwing 18.76 meters. Walking away with the win was Li Zhao Gong, throwing a meeting record and season's best 19.72 meters. Madison Lee was second from New Zealand. She threw 19.63 meters. And Chase Jackson, formerly Chase Ely, threw 19.62 meters for third place. Now, if you watched my preview video, that was the live that I did, then this was in and around the performances that I was expecting from the winners. I did say mid 19 meters to high 19 meters, and that's pretty much what happened here. Was hoping to see Danielle Thomas-Dodd also get into 19 meters. Didn't happen here. I'm hoping though, as the season progresses, we'll be able to see her get into the high 19s, one possibly break her personal best and get into 20 meters, because in order to get into the medal conversation, especially for Paris, then yeah, you have to be over 20 meters. But anyway, first one in the books. No fuss really. This is just something to build on. Let's see how as the season progresses for her and where she'll be able to go from here on out. Now, jumping over to the women's 100-meter hurdles. Now, this one is going to always be interesting. The hurdles are always interesting. As I said, it's the gift that keeps on giving, or always gives us, something fantastic. And it happened here again. Wonderful performances from the women. Now, walking away with the win was Jasmine Camacho Quinn, and she ran a meeting record and season's best 12.45 seconds. So again, fantastic running. Just a 1/100th of a second shy of the world lead held by Nia Ali we saw done the week before. So yeah, great performances, and a lot of these athletes are just coming out for the first time for the season as well. So great running. The world indoor 60-meter world record holder Devin Charlton also took to the track for the first time this season outdoors, and she ran a season best 12.49 seconds, fastest ever season opener from her. So we're expecting great things this season for the women's 100-meter hurdles. And then we had Samba Mayela running a national record and personal best 12.55 seconds, and Danielle Williams running a season's best 12.56 seconds. So that's 1/100th of a second faster than what she did the week prior. Toby Amerson was also here running a season's best 12.58 seconds. So it was just great running all around. We also had Megan Tapper in the race, and she ran 12.88 seconds for a season's best for herself as well. And this is a great opener for Megan Tapper as well. So interestingly, sometimes you may look at a placing and you may say, oh, the performance is not good, but look at the time. This is a good time for Megan Tapper to open her season, and I'm excited to see how much further she'll be able to go this season. As again the season progresses, the Jamaican Trials is going to be a hot one when it comes to the hurdles. We're looking out to see many of these girls turn up and run really well, and Megan and Danielle are in the conversation, and I'm excited for it, right? So great going to kick things off for the hurdlers. So I'm going to move on from the hurdles to the women's 200 meters. Now, this didn't have a Jamaican entrant, but I want to touch on it because, I did go live and I talked about how the times didn't give me what I was expecting the times to give. So again, we see the reverse here where the placings may look fine, but then again, the times didn't give me what I was thinking the times would give. So I was expecting something mid 22 to low 22s. Wasn't expecting anything faster than that because, again, for most of these athletes, it's their first run of the season. But what we did get here is Tori Lewis running, slightly outside of her personal best, two one hundredths of a second outside of her personal best, and she ran a 22.96 seconds meeting record as well, which is interesting. I believe this is probably the first time the 200 meters is being contested here for this to be a meeting record. Remember, Xiamen is new on the Diamond League listing, so I believe that this is probably the first time they're contesting the women's too, and this was on a negative 0.4 meters per second, so the wind was negligible. Let's put it that way. Interestingly, Shacarri, which is the lineup here, I was expecting her to walk away with the win, again, based on her caliber. Even if you're not in spick and span shape, which I did tell you all, and some of you did not believe me when I said Shacarri wasn't ready. When I talked about it a couple weeks ago, I said watching that relay, Shacarri was not ready to give you guys what you thought she was going to give you. So typically Shacarri would come out running maybe like a 10.7, or some windy, ridiculous time. And I was saying, look here, based on that relay run that I saw, she wasn't where you guys are expecting her to be. So I understand her pulling out of the meeting, right? And this kind of confirmed it for me as well. This 22.99 seconds that she ran to place second in this race, a season's best for her. Right, so confirmed it for me. Do I hold much water with this performance in terms of what is going to happen when she gets to the championships? And I mean the USA championships. No, I still believe that she'll still run really well, make both the 100 meter team and the 200 meter team. This is just the first run of the season. Let's see how she progresses from here. But interesting to note that I just want to point out that I was right that she wasn't ready. I know some of y'all want to come in the section and clock me and say, oh T, you just love to say negative stuff. I just said what it is. She wasn't ready. And this time, pretty much, solidified that. Tamara Clark was third, and she ran at 23.01 seconds. Interestingly, I believe some people were saying that Tori Lewis has some, Jamaican heritage going on there. So I'm not sure though, but yeah, with that said, it is what it is. Some people are already calling her cousin Tori. But anyway, let's move on now to some more events that had some Jamaican entrants here. Now, we had the men's 110 meter hurdles here. Now, my expectation going in was that, Hansa Parchment would be around someplace, 13.4s, right? So with that said, walking away with the win was Daniel Robert, and he ran a world leading 13.11 seconds. Cardell Tinch second, 13.16 seconds, season's best. Shinosuke Izumiya was third with a season's best 13.17 seconds. Now, Hansa Parchment was sixth, and he ran a time of 13.33 seconds. Now, again, you may look at the sixth and say, wow, he was only sixth. No, look at the time. This is a great time for Hansa Parchment opening his season. Remember, he opened his season last year with a 13.6, and he went to the World Championships and won silver, and at the end of the season ran a personal best, defeating Grant Holloway in that Diamond League final. So this is a great opener actually for Hansa Parchment. Next time we see him, we may see something like a 13.1. Then from there, we may see 13.0s to the 12-second realm, right? So with that said, though, I think this was a great opener from Hansa Parchment. Now, Orlando Bennett was also in the race, and he ran a season's best 13.58 seconds. Let's see how Orlando Bennett is able to progress from here. Sometimes I feel like he's in the conversation. Sometimes I feel like he's not in the conversation from a Jamaican perspective. But I do, hope he progresses better than he did last year to hopefully get back on what will be, the conversation to be part of the Jamaican team heading to the Olympic Games. We have a few guys coming out, as I said, and you have to be on your A game when it comes to the hurdles. All right, now, moving on from the hurdles, I want to jump into the final event that I want to touch on, and it's the men's 100 meters. Now, in this one, we had Johan Blake, Akeem Blake, and we had Rowan Watson. Now, right off the bat, just want to touch on Johan Blake. He finished 9th, so there are 10 lanes on the track, and he finished 9th, running a season's best 10.43 seconds. At this particular point in time, it is what it is when it comes to Johan Blake. This is his last season. I hope he can go out with a bang. This time isn't giving what we're used to from a Johan Blake, clearly, but you know what, guys, at this particular point, we just need to stand behind our athletes and support them as much as possible, especially one that has represented us so well over the years. Johan Blake has represented Jamaica well over the years, and in this final stretch, we are behind him 100%. Even though the performances don't give us, typical Johan Blake, second fastest man ever, we are still with him 100%. Now, moving on to the top rankings in this race now. So, walking away with the win was Christian Coleman, running a 13 at 10.13 seconds. Now, Fred Curley was second, running at 10.17 seconds. Akeem Blake was third, running at 10.20 seconds. And Rohan Watson was fourth, running at 10.27 seconds. Now, in this run, I loved Christian Coleman's run. I believe it was more evenly distributed than any other run I've seen him, produce in recent times. Then I think about Fred Curley. He was closing in on, Coleman towards the end of the race. Didn't have it to get him, but still a good performance. And Akeem Blake very much impressed me in this run with third place. Staying again with an evenly distributed race. Started well, ended well as well in third place. Then Rohan Watson as well won a solid race, running 10.27 seconds. Now, looking at it from the eye test, I would say the race itself looked how I wanted it to look. I was just a bit wondering why the times were what the times were. We saw a 10.13 here for the win. This was done in a negative 1.6, not 1.6, sorry, negative 0.6 meters per second wind. So when I take the win into consideration, it was, negligible as well. I'm not going to lie, Chuckies. I was expecting something closer to 10 seconds for the win, if not, a 9.9 something, right? So with that said, do I think, though, it has any bearing on what I'm expecting from the athletes, based on times this season? No. I still think that they'll be able to turn up when it comes to their trials. And as the season progresses, as I said, and run personal best, run fast time. I'm just thinking that this year, the athletes seem to be coming out much slower than what we may have been expecting. So with that said, for the sprints for the senior, just don't be looking forward for any super fast times this early. Maybe when we get into May, we'll start seeing some really good times, but for now, we just had to settle for these 10.13s. Am I impressed by the 10.13? No, but I loved the execution from the athletes. So with that said, guys, sound off in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. That is it. First Diamond League done and dusted. What were your thoughts and the performances? Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.